Iran is tightening its grip on the Strait of Hormuz, refusing to reopen the strategic waterway until Washington meets a list of demands. Tehran says there will be no negotiations with the United States for now, while footage of Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei is expected to be released amid continued questions over his health.
Iran is sending two clear messages, one that its leadership remains in control, and the other that the Strait of Hormuz will stay closed. The Basij organization says footage of Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei among people and meeting military commanders will be released in the future. Mojtaba Khamenei was appointed Supreme Leader in March but has not appeared publicly since. His absence has fueled speculation over his health. Iranian sources have previously said he suffered facial injuries in the strike that killed his father, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, on February 28th. Iranian state media also reported that President Masoud Pezeshkian recently met Mojtaba Khamenei to discuss economic and military affairs.
We
currently have no negotiations with the United States. There is only an exchange of messages through intermediaries who are trying to create conditions for talks. From our perspective, negotiations cannot resume until U.S. violations of the Memorandum of Understanding End and Compensation is provided. Our talks with Oman are separate and concern a new maritime route through the Strait of Hormuz. Those discussions are in their final stages, with specialists working on new maps. However, this does not mean the strait will reopen. Its reopening depends on several other conditions communicated through intermediaries.
Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says Tehran is exchanging messages through intermediaries, but direct talks with Washington remain off the table. Iran says the United States must first address what Tehran describes as violations of an interim June agreement and compensate Iran for wartime damage. The dispute is closely tied to the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's Revolutionary Guards say Hormuz will remain closed until those conditions are met. Tehran has also demanded an end to what it calls a U.S. counterblockade of Iranian ports. The IRGC describes the strait as a theater of war, not simply a waterway. The consequences extend far beyond Iran's shores. The Strait of Hormuz is a crucial global energy route, and disruption to shipping threatens to deepen pressure on international markets and energy supplies. The United States says more than 30 vessels have been allowed through for humanitarian purposes, while 53 ships have been turned away since the blockade began. Iran says a possible agreement with Oman on new shipping routes is nearing completion, but Araghchi stresses that an agreement on maritime routes does not mean Hormuz will reopen. For now, the waterway remains at the center of a wider confrontation with diplomacy stalled and the risk of further escalation still high.